Raw Cut Friday, baby. Let's go. See what we talking about today. What we talking about? We're gonna talk about and Thursday night in the car. Like always, we stay on the go, stay busy. But we talk about I turned vegetarian. I started off just straight vegan, then I moved to vegetarian just because vegetarians are a lot more flexible with our lifestyle. So I've done it before. Like if you've seen like a previous episode when I talked to Mike Thornton, he's been vegan for a little over 6 years or maybe longer. Bodybuilder, powerlifter like dude, super strong. We talked to him. I was already thinking about going back and switching back to that to vegetarian or some kind of meatless style diet before I even talked to him on the podcast. But after that, I started doing more research, because he asked some pretty good questions and made some pretty good points. And then I just kept seeing things. So I started doing a little bit more research. It's like, I'm just go ahead and do that, because I really believe in it. Although as much as I love steak, as much as I love chicken wings, it's whatever. I've been for 40 years, I've been eating that shit all my life. So, I can detach, and I guess that's one of the main things that I want to talk about is people's relationship with food. Many people have negative relationships with food. It may not even be negative, but it's an addictive. They have an addictive relationship with food. Definitely, because it's just like anything else, like smoking, like drinking, like drugs. Anytime you tell somebody that they may have a problem or that they may stop, they have an emotional reaction. They start to resent you. They start to, feel defensive and justify why they doing it and why they can do it and whatnot. And even to the harm of their body, they still do it. It's just like candy, like a bunch of sugar. Everybody, is well documented how artificial sugars or, refined sugars damage the body, but people still eat it. People still consume it in mass amounts. People still give it to their kids. And I'm guilty of that, like I give it to my kids and stuff. I don't consume it as much. I may indulge like here and there, but, before I was really bad. But, you know better, you do better. So I just stopped, even though I know that some of those cookies and brownies and cakes and those drinks and milkshakes and all that stuff looks good. I'm like, no, like I don't want it. I know what it tastes like. I know it's good, so I'm good. I don't have to have it. If it's sitting on the counter, I don't have to grab it and eat it. If it's in the house, I don't have to eat it. Like so a lot of snacks and stuff be in the house. But I think that ties back to the addiction piece. Many people are addicted, and it's just plain and simple to foods, to certain foods. And they justify by this is how I was raised. They justify by this is, I don't want to deprive myself of a good thing. It's all these different things that people and logics that they come up, and they will search the internet to find some kind of justification or research that goes to their point. It may be the only article out of 1,000 articles, but they found one that used a sample size of 10 people versus one that had 10,000 people, and they went with that one because it's pretty much confirmation bias. You're going to find and you're going to hear what you want to hear that justifies your claim or your take. But I just want to bring that awareness, man, that I don't think a lot of people realize that they're addicted to food. They're addicted to certain types of food, especially to the detriment of themselves. Like whether it's the amount of consumption, the amount of consuming, whether it's the types of food. So anytime that there is a, need for a change in diet or a change in consumption or moderation, most people can't. They always revert back to what they're doing, regardless of the effects. They know that it could be killing them. They know that it could be causing them to gain weight. They know it could be causing hormone imbalance. They know all of these things. They feel it. Whether they choose to neglect it, whether they choose to be what the fuck is the word? Denial. But whatever it is, they do these things unconsciously, subconsciously, or sometimes even consciously. They just do it because they already know, but they just gonna live. It's just like people that smoked cigarettes. It was a guy I used to work with. He had the tube in his throat, and he had to breathe through it. And he was like, well, "I'm gonna die one day, so I'm gonna keep smoking my cigarettes and keep doing whatever." It's like, all right, ain't much you can tell nobody after that. So he just came to grips with the fate. There's a lot of people, they say you're killing yourself with a fork and a spoon, or with a syringe and a nicotine, whatever it is. A lot of people know these things, and they use them as crutches or vices and just different things. A lot of people revert to drinking alcohol when they're stressed. It's just a learned behavior. Nothing about alcohol reduces stress. It's anything, it heightens it. It heightens the cortisol. It does all these different things. It may give you temporary relief because it takes you out of your current mental state of being, just why you get drunk, and they call it liquid courage. That's why a lot of people socially drink, because it makes them feel less awkward, or it makes them be a little bit more social, makes them loosen up. With parents, they say, "Here, loosen up, let's get this drink, let's do the shots." Like, if you need to do that, then that's more of the underlying issue you need to fix, versus trying to stop. Why do I need to do that? Why do I feel a certain way? But then that tends to lead to alcoholism, or becoming an alcoholic, or having a nervous habit where you have to smoke different things, or become a nervous habit when you just start to snack and just eat. Just whatever. Like, if people say they can't fast, like, yes, it's uncomfortable fasting. Sometimes you get used to it, but you're always thinking about it. You're always thinking about food, which makes you hungrier mentally, because you're addicted. You're addicted to just waking up and just chewing on something. You're addicted to you have to have it. Like, even if it's just gum, even like like a lot of social things. A lot of things are socially too. Like, my girls play softball. We always have sunflower seeds or some kind of almonds or something. We would just be out there eating. It's just a habit. It feels natural to put some seeds in your mouth, chew them up, then, spit them. Just like they used to have Cracker Jacks at the old baseball games, and hot dogs and the beer, just different things, popcorn at the movies. Like, certain things it's a reason, it's systemic. You got to think about why and how these things became the way they are. A lot of this stuff, man, my light done went out and shit. Hold up, motherfucker. But a lot of this stuff, is part of a grand scheme, conspiracy theory or not. The healthcare industry, with all the medical and insurance people, and all the FDA with the food recommendations, all these people are in cahoots. All these people are all tied to the same pot of money that they're cycling through. So a lot of our best interest is not in their best interest. Their best interest is in increasing the profit line. And the more patients that they have, then the more different types of food you recommend to cure this, the more, insurance you may need in case of this happen. It all is a revolving cycle. And most of the times it'd be the same executive sitting on the board of all three: insurance, medical, and food. So they're pushing this medication, they're pushing this food, they're pushing this service. So, you got to think about, like, it trickles all the way down into media and entertainment and different things. Like, why we see so many, Bud Light and alcohol commercials during athletic events and stuff. It's like, it's a whole systemic play, but that's a whole other rabbit hole we can go down on another Raw Cut Friday. But the whole thing is, I just wanted to bring awareness as people to realize that, a lot of us are addicted to food, and a lot of things I do a lot of random stuff, just out of the blue. I just cut my my facial hair. Part of the reason I wanted to let my face breathe. A lot of my head is getting really dry scalp. I don't know, it might be balding or some shit. I don't know, but like my chin hair, it's kind of it's flaking off a little bit. So for the last couple of months, so I just wanted to let it breathe, let it get some sun. Oil it up a little bit, moisturize it all the way to the source without having it block. But just cut, just go out, just boom, let me do this, boom. Same thing like with the food. Like, I just all right, the first time I ever did vegetarian, I just It's like, yo, just in case I have to one day medically or whatever it is, let me see if I can do it. Um, but I'm always one to not be dependent on something. I'm always one to do things just because, just to make sure I can, or that I'm not addicted. Like I may, that's how I started fasting. Like it's a form of discipline. Discipline is like my thing. I think life, you can determine a lot of success between see how disciplined someone is or how lucky they are. At the end of the day, sometimes you can create your own luck, but a lot of times, the larger sample size of people that are successful have a strong, especially highly successful, they have a strong tolerance and strong will and discipline. And that comes with sacrifice. That comes with a lot of, giving up things. So part of my journey, just was, hey, I don't want to be addicted to any food. Like I was eating steak and eggs like almost every day. Loved it. I wish I could have one right now, but I don't. I mean, I don't really think about it. I'm happy as long as I'm not hungry. I'm good. I know I'm doing something that's good for my body. Looking for new ways to make new meals. Trying foods I never tried before. Eating combinations of food I never eaten before. I've been eating a lot of more tomatoes. I hated tomatoes. I don't think I ate over 5 ounces of tomatoes in my 40 years of living, and so I've been eating a lot of that. So I mean, it's just been an experience. It's been a fun experience. It's a new challenge, especially as you get older. You start getting more awareness and waking up to different things and trying new things. And also, it's about, I just want to put myself in the best possible way to perform and be there for the people I love. So I feel like this is the best way for me to do that. Playing sports all my life, being a boy, doing wild stuff, jumping off of houses and the roofs and shit, and just doing dumb stuff. Your body take a toll. So just looking for ways to preserve the athleticism, the life, the dexterity, the mobility, the functionality as much as I can, so I continue to have fun with the younger kids, like my kids, nephews, just anybody. I'm big into sports. I want to get out there and just throw the ball, run a route. I still can dunk at 40. I want to be able to be like those videos you see, 80-year-old Olympic dudes, they out there racing, running like sub 17, 18 second 100-meter dashes and stuff. I know people that's 25 that'll pull a hamstring trying to run a 100-meter dash. But all in all, just know that, or assess to see if you're actually addicted to food, or a certain type of food. See if you can give it up. I mean, that's why a lot of religious things have fasting and Lent, stuff like Lent and Ramadan and all these different things. It's a form of discipline and sacrifice and not being too attached to stuff. That's why you do it. So, like, just to see if you can. I'm not saying that you need to go out there and do a 24-hour fast or 72-hour fast or all liquid fast, or go vegan, go vegetarian, go pescatarian, go keto, give up. I'm not saying do anything, but I believe in moderation. I think you can eat all those things, and still, as long as it's not in an abundant amount, unhealthy amounts, as long as you're getting like some kind of form of physical activity in for yourself, then you'll be fine. But for me, I like to, I'm more so on the discipline and on the extreme side. So being a vegetarian, be vegan, whatever it is, I wanted to see how long this would be. I don't have really an end goal. I don't know if this is going to be a permanent lifestyle change that I'm going to do forever. I don't know if this is going to be a 3-month thing or stop at the end of the year. And I'm not opposed to eating meat. If I'm out somewhere, traveling or whatever it is, and I have no options, I'm not opposed to getting some fish or getting some chicken or getting some steak or whatever it is. Or, I could just fast. I could just say, all right, I'm gonna fast for 24 hours or whatever till I get somewhere. I got options, but I'm not hard set on anything. But the main thing is I just wanted to show to myself that know that I'm, not addicted to anything, in a sense. I'm not dependent on, the worst thing I can say to myself is like, I gotta have this. No, I don't gotta have that. Only thing I gotta have is love, water, and air. You know what I'm saying? that other than that, I don't want to be in a position to say I gotta have this. Oh man, I gotta have my coffee in the morning. You know, like I haven't drink coffee, whatever, drink. I haven't since February. 'Cause I noticed that it was messing my stomach up, but I don't even know if it was messing my stomach up. My stomach might have been messed up before, might have had some bad food, might have, just whatever it is. I don't know. But I did a couple tests. So not a couple tests, like I did a couple of things. Like I didn't drink it for a couple of days, and then I did drink it to see if, the effects would come back. Which was messing up my stomach. Like I had like irritable bowel syndrome or something. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I haven't drunk coffee in about 2.5 months now. But that was one of those things. I would drink coffee 2 times a day, and I wouldn't even drink it for caffeine. I just drink it because it was comforting. I liked the warm feeling. It has caffeine in it, so it might have been like an addictive thing. Like you just wake up like, I just want coffee. Like some people say I gotta have my coffee or I can't get the day started with coffee. I wasn't to that point. I just actually just wanted that feeling, that smell, that aroma. It brought like just joy, it just brought like a certain feeling, just to hear it brewing, just to smell it brewing, just to see the steam coming out the cup and sipping it hot. I wasn't a cold coffee. I didn't drink cold coffee. I didn't go to Starbucks and get like the lattes and frappuccino, all the sugary stuff. Like I just drank it straight black, just because like it wasn't even, coffee actually made me tired. I would drink an espresso and go to sleep actually, but again, that's a whole nother story and scientific thing about the like why that is. But yeah, so no, I'm just been in a season. I always have been, but 2026 has really been a moment for me, to just reflect on what makes me. What am I tied to? What am I not tied to? Why am I tied to it? And is there a need for me still to be tied to it? So, I've been letting a lot of things go. I've been changing a lot of things. I always have, but it seems it's been more evident and more prominent this year. Just with stuff like, not drinking coffee anymore, not eating meat anymore. So just getting back into the swing of things. But at this point, I'm just rambling, just kind of talking. But I hope this kind of sheds some light. Anybody else that got like some feedback, got some thoughts on this, man, let me know in the comments. We might can jump on a full podcast and do a little deeper dive, bounce things off each other. It don't really matter. But this Raw Cut Friday, and I'll see y'all next week, baby.